on the one that runs the street. Is he talking about the wash plant?
Yeah. It's just the friction. Remember the guy on the one show had a lawnmower running it?
For volunteer, for Peter.
Strap it down so tight to create the friction.
Not piano. He probably wouldn't be good at that.
Mayor, excuse me, I've all signed in, I just got signed in, so you guys will have to do a refresh.
City Council meetings and strategic plan.
What the heck did that do that for?
Regular council meetings open to the public days. First and third Tuesday of each month times, 7:30 p.m. until adjournment place. City Hall,
getting the lesson.
521.
I don't know
Council
what I
chambers
did, but I did something. There we go. Well, mute whatever's going on. It's like, it's talking back to me. What did you want?
I hate mouthy computers.
At least in person, it's not doing this.
Guy said, how loud is a one-hand clap? He goes, I don't know, and he slaps it. I just saw that. Sorry.
That's a big deal now where you stand up there facing each other. Just
What's
like
that?
one-
Everybody needs to bring their mics in.
Okay. Everybody ready?
Chris not gonna be here?
I don't think Chris is gonna make it. He might, but I talked to him and he was way late coming in, barely in time to vote, and he said he had to change clothes because he was really bad. And all right. 7:30 haven't arrived. I will call this meeting to order. Will you please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is the roll call, please.
Mayor Terry Wycombe,
Here.
Vice Mayor Steve Sanger,
Here.
Councilmember Darrell Gardner,
Here.
Councilmember Tanya Lumen,
Here.
Councilmember Bruce Seelow,
Here.
Councilmember Chris Weisenberg, Councilmember Jacqueline Wells.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next thing on our agenda is to approve the agenda. Councilman Wells, sorry.
I move to approve the November 5th, 2024 City Council agenda as presented.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the November 5th, 2024 City Council agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open.
Am I not hooked up?
What would you like to do, Mayor?
I would like to log in. Yay.
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
All right, give me 1 second. I had to refresh. I thought I had. Sorry. All right, next thing on our agenda is the consent agenda. Vice Mayor Wells. Sanger. I cannot get it right. When my computer quits, I quit.
I move to
Sorry.
approve the consent agenda of November 5th, 2024 as presented.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda of November 5th, 2024 as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
All right, thank you. At this time, I will open a public hearing. This public hearing is to approve the second reading and waive the reading of the ordinance governing the body of the City of Rawlins, Carbon County, Wyoming, creating a flood damage prevention ordinance. Is there anybody here that would like to speak on that? Seeing nobody, I will close that public hearing and move to the next thing on our agenda, which is public comment. Public comment is pursuant to resolution number 2C 1996. It sets a time limit of 5 minutes for citizens to participate and talk about things that is not on the agenda. Is there anybody here that would like to approach and speak at this time? Just come to the podium, tell us who you are, even though we know, and sign in. Thank you.
Mike Lujan, Honorable Mayor, worthy council. I wanted just to announce, if you haven't heard, our annual Veterans Day dinner is happening on Monday, the 11th. The public is invited. Also, the veterans, we make phone calls, personal phone calls to all the veterans in Carbon County that we can reach. We invite them and their families and friends. You don't even have to be a veteran. If you want to just come and partake in free meal, that's something we do. We had about 150 people last year. We're having the honor guard from the Wyoming Department of Corrections. We're also having the honor guard from the Rawlins Fire Department make a presentation of the colors. We have a flag that was flown on the USS Fitzgerald and the state capitol that was donated to me and to my business, and so we present that in memory of our veterans and our officers, our law enforcement, and all of those. So we invite you to come. It starts at 6 o'clock, and we'll have our meal and then our presentation at about 6:20, 6:30. We also have an individual who escorted a military vet from, I think he was from Pinedale, that was killed in action. He escorted him all the way from the Far East, brought him back to Wyoming to have him buried, and as they had the casket in the hangar, he stayed with him all night. And so he is going to make a talk at the Elks, also at the St. Clair Parco, and also in my restaurant. So we invite you to Michael's Big City Steakhouse on Monday at about 6:15. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Is there anybody else? All right, we will move on to the next thing. The next thing on our agenda is the Community Builder Award for November 2024. And I would ask the committee, Rawlins Volunteer Committee, to approach and present.
Miss Lopez texted me and she's on her way, but she's not here yet. Could we move to the next item at your pleasure, Mayor?
Sure. You
Thank
just let me know when that time comes.
Yeah, I mean, you'll
and
probably
we'll-
see her walk in before I do, but.
Okay.
She did text she's on her way, and she
Okay.
apologizes.
We can definitely switch things around.
Thank you.
We'll go on to the next thing on the agenda, which is presentation employees of the third quarter. And I will turn the floor over to City Manager Tom Sarvey.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, and members of the council. Tonight, we're going to have several employee recognitions tonight, and the first one we have is the employees of the quarter for the third quarter. And we have selected 4 different officers tonight from our police department to recognize, and the commonality between the for tonight and their efforts is they were all able to perform life-saving services to people in need that were passing through our community and within our community. And they were able to do CPR. They had their defibrillators, and they were able to preserve people's lives in that. So the first one that I would like to recognize is on June 5th, Lieutenant Jared Frakes responded to a medical emergency on the ramp to I-80. Upon arrival, Lieutenant Franks discovered a Wyoming Highway Patrol trooper had initiated life-saving efforts to an adult male who was not breathing and did not have a pulse. The trooper had already applied an AED, which administered a shock to the patient. Lieutenant Frakes immediately joined the life-saving efforts and took over the CPR compressions. The patient regained a pulse and began breathing. The patient was transported to Memorial Hospital of Carbon County and subsequently transferred to Casper. The patient, who was passing through Rawlins with his family while on vacation, returned home and made a full recovery. So that is one that we'd like to recognize Lieutenant Frakes. On June 25th, Sergeant Christopher Craig responded to an address in Rawlins for a medical emergency. Upon arrival, Sergeant Craig located a sheriff's deputy administering CPR to an unresponsive adult female patient. Sergeant Craig had brought his AED with him into the scene and applied the device to the patient. Sergeant Craig administered a shock and then took over CPR on the patient until medical personnel arrived. The patient recovered a pulse and began breathing. The patient was transported to Memorial Hospital of Carbon County and subsequently to Casper, where she continued to receive care. And so we would like to recognize Sergeant Christopher Craig for that. And the last incident was on July 20th. Officer Colton Hallisey and Sergeant Thomas Gamblin were dispatched to an ambulance call for a male subject who was unresponsive. Upon arrival, Officer Hallisey discovered the male patient unresponsive in the driver's seat of the vehicle. Family members advised that the patient had become unresponsive while driving, and the vehicle in which they were in drove off the road and in circles and stopped in a ditch. The patient was removed from the vehicle and discovered to not be breathing and not to have a pulse. Officer Hallisey immediately initiated CPR, and Sergeant Gamblin administered an AED to the patient. The AED administered a shock to the patient. The patient began breathing on his own before being transported to Cheyenne by a helicopter. Officer Hallisey and Sergeant Gamblin's life-saving efforts were performed in front of the patient's family. So we'd really like to recognize these officers and the great service, not only in the public safety arena, but their life-saving efforts tonight. So if any of them are here, I would invite them forward. Certificate. We invite Chief Ward up and we'll take a picture.
that is an amazing set of people right there, amazing stories, and thank you all very much. That's just amazing. I don't know what else to say. Thank you, Tom. All right. The next thing I didn't see anybody new come in, so if somebody knows her, just let me know when she gets here, if you would. The next thing on our agenda is the DDA and Main Street Hub reports. I'll turn the floor over to Pam Thayer.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. So super excited to talk to you about, of course, great things going on. So you have a flyer that was given to you about Veterans Day, and Mike from Mike's Big City already talked about one of the events. This is just an amazing cooperation, collaboration of businesses, organizations, all the above. So this form was actually created for all the things that are happening next Monday. So come one, come all. But I wanted to give you a little update on the photo exhibit, the Veterans Photo Exhibit at the Ferguson. First of all, I really want to thank Vice Mayor Sanger and his hanging system is making it possible. We're working with the Bank of Commerce and sharing. They're doing a video, but we're doing the photo exhibit, and so we're sharing our veterans and our information. So whatever's at the exhibit is also going to be on their video, and there is a link on that flyer where you can view the video. The design committee has been amazing, part of DDA Main Street, Marcella Redmond, Linda Smith, working with American Legion, the Lions Club, Rotary. They've both donated to help pay for the frames. I don't know if you guys have seen it's half up. We had hoped, the win was the design committee wanted 25 submissions. We're at 47 as of about 2 hours ago. We realized that we were getting close, and we had some damaged frames on Friday afternoon. So I ordered 40 frames, thinking that was plenty, and I ordered another 40 frames, and then we had to come in and change the hanging system and regroup. And so we are taking submissions officially till 3 p.m. on Thursday. If anybody else would like to, Nicole will throw them into the video, and we have laid out additional space. So again, the forms are on the website, downtownrawlins.org. I have some additional forms to fill out if you have. It's the form and a photograph, and it's just coming together. I don't know how many people have driven by it, but I did a story with Bigfoot, sent him pictures, and it'll be on the air tomorrow. But it's an amazing collaboration of the photo exhibit, which will be up till December 2nd. And who knows, if we're loving it so much, we might just keep it up longer, because it's pretty cool. So that's the first thing that you guys have. The second thing is, it's been the last 30 days. We've had Art Beat, we've had Trick or Treat on downtown streets. Now we're having veterans exhibits, and then we get into the holidays. And these are 2 of the 4 marketing and events that are happening between November 29th and December 20th. Blue Plaid Friday, aka Black Friday, because we just have, the state of Wyoming and other retailers wanted to shake things up, and Black Friday was kind of black, so they decided to call it Plaid Friday, and then we just decided in Wyoming to call it Blue Plaid Friday. So the key thing here that I really want to talk about and let people know, and I pulled this up because I just wanted to really talk about this, is Small Business Saturday was created over 15 years ago by American Express, and it's an annual event that encourages consumers to shop in person or online at locally owned small businesses during the holiday season. And it infuses money back into our local economies, promotes vibrant and diverse communities, and celebrates the importance of the small business roles in the nation. And so there's also a diagram on this that for every $1 that you spend in a local business, 67 cents stays locally and then regenerates, and that's so important. So we're having fun this year. Every time you spend on Friday and Saturday, the 29th and 30th, with a purchase, you'll get a free gift. They're really cool. I won't tell you what they are, but they're Cool. And then also on Friday and Saturday, we're going to give, and we might even up the ante and take it up to 500. The volunteer committee will decide tomorrow. We've been very fortunate to get some sponsors. But on Friday and Saturday, we'll just be passing out money in Main Street money, just thanking people for shopping local to be able to use back in stores. So that is the 29th and 30th. And then, of course, Shop Downtown Win Big is $1,000 this year again, and you can see the rules kind of similar to what it's been. The only difference probably on the bottom half, Shop Downtown Win Big, we tried something new last year, is it used to you have to take your receipts in on one day in one location, and that got kind of tedious. And so last year, the volunteer committee decided let's have 10 locations at any time to switch out the receipts for tickets during their normal business hours, and that gave you 10 locations to go to and not one day at a certain time, and it worked fabulous. So we're doing that again, and that's $1,000 plus there's the online gift guide, and there's just so much. But lots going on in the next 45 days to infuse the economy and let this cash register ring for sales tax revenue. So, any questions?
I don't have any, but I have this for you.
Oh, okay.
This is for your board, and
Oh,
it's from the staff and from the council. And I'd like to thank you very much.
oh, great. I will give those to them on the next board meeting. Thank you. If you want to see a cool picture that's going to be hanging, Mayor Wycomb's is kind of cool, neat picture. It's been really fun, you guys, to get these submissions and work with them and make, some of them are black and whites. We have a World War I gentleman, Elmer Daniel Kinnaman, and he was 15 when he went in. And he looks 15 in this picture. Obviously, I don't know what the age was back for World War I, but it's really cool. And then, yeah, so it's cool. You guys are going to love it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Pam. All right. We're going to hop back to the Community Builder Award for November 2024, and I will have the members of the Rawlins Volunteer Committee come forward.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. The Community Builder Award is a monthly award the city presents to local individuals, businesses, and organizations for their volunteer service, sponsorship, promotion of programs and events, outstanding service in the interest of the city, and for other contributions significant to Rawlins' quality of life. The Volunteer Committee would like to present the November 2024 Community Builder Award to Tana Lopez.
Honorable Mayor, Council, this time of year is a busy time for almost everyone. Between work or school and the holidays, there's a lot going on. October, you have Halloween, November, there's Thanksgiving, and of course, in December, there's Christmas. What most do not think about are those people that put everything together, the organizers. The volunteers that organize these things sometimes put in a lot of hours even after putting in a full day's worth of work. One of these people is Tana Lopez. Tana puts in her hours at her normal workplace dealing with young children, which we all know is a lot of work. Along with that, she has put together the costume drive for Halloween. There were 30 locations where they had drop boxes for costumes. There were so many costumes that were donated that they were unable to count them all, but in the end, they washed 24 loads of gently used costumes. This year, the drive helped 80 community members get costumes. I can only imagine the smiles of the kids when they were able to choose a Halloween costume of their own, as well as the smile of their parents, because it was not an extra cost for them this time of year. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Tana and talking about it. I asked her what drives her to do something like this. She says, as you get older, you realize the community is bigger than just you, and you are able to make a difference. She also would love to see the community come together as one and become better. She knows that most want the change, but lack the ability or initiative to make the change happen. Tana has proven, if you seek the change and take action, no matter how big or small, the community will be a better place. After speaking with her, there is no doubt as to why Tana was nominated and chosen to receive this month's Community Builder Award.
Sorry, I'm always late.
idea of Rawlins Halloween costume drive couldn't be a reality without the whole community. So I have a list of people that has helped me, from my mom, my committee, the businesses that have dropped off boxes, and it's still hosted them until the November 15th. And then they're listed on our Facebook page. The people who donated the costumes, the Elk donated a huge load of costumes and everything else. And the people that spread the word by hanging our banners, Facebook, our flyers, our friends and family that help us at the costume event, the pickup. And we'll be back next year, the weekend before Halloween. Also, we have a fundraiser Halloween party with vendor show that will be donated to the Boys and Girls Club and Cove. And that's it.
And she's donating her $100 to the Boys and Girls Club.
An award well deserved. Thank you. All right, now we will go to the city manager report and staff reports, and I'll turn the floor over to you, Tom.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of the council. We'd like to continue the employee recognition a little bit tonight during my report. We have a proud graduate of the fire school that just started. I believe this was their first class. And so I'd like to invite Chief Robinson forward, and he'll tell us a little bit about the graduation.
Honorable Mayor and Council, this little plaque is, we'll talk about it here in just a second. So beginning back in the week of August 12th, Austin started the first of its kind Wyoming Career Fire Academy. They did a pilot program, and then this was the first actual class that they did statewide. They had 13 graduates attending 12 weeks of training. Within that 12 weeks, they obtained their hazardous materials awareness, operations level certifications, and also their Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 certifications. Condensed into a 12-week program, this normally takes most of our guys the better part of a year to obtain those certifications. Included in that are numerous hours of PT, classroom and fireground evolutions, numerous fireground evolutions, repeated. I'm sure Austin can do some of these actions in his sleep now, which is good. Austin is the first from the Rawlins Fire Department to attend a Wyoming Fire Academy such as the one that just took place. We're excited about the things that he brings back to us with accomplishing these things. I had the opportunity last Thursday of attending the graduation at the state capitol. As you can see in the photos, we're downstairs in the auditorium, which is kind of a really cool place to go and be able to do this. It was a neat opportunity to do that. So I'd like to congratulate Austin on his accomplishments and his graduation from the Wyoming Career Fire Academy. He'll be a great asset to our operations. This plaque was presented from the class to us. In conjunction with the State Fire Marshal's office, there were 6 different departments. Casper, Cheyenne, Rock Springs, Sheridan, Rawlins, who am I missing? Laramie. That's what I was missing. So, but they put these together. If you have questions, you can talk to him about it specific, because there's a lot of things on here that are specific to the class. But it was an awesome thing to be able to participate and be part of that. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, one more recognition tonight. This will be the last recognition tonight. But we would like to recognize our Public Works Director, Cody Dill, tonight. He received the George Michael Award. As you can see up here, and it's the award presented to for outstanding utility management in either water treatment, wastewater treatment, water treatment, or wastewater collection. And they were just up at their recent conference in Casper, and that's where he was awarded with this award. So, so if you want to.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. I just wanted to say I have a great staff, great people that I work with, and I just want them to know that any given day in any given scenario, I'm going to be in the hole and helping them out no matter what's going on. So it's the staff that I have that helped me get this. So thank you guys.
I just want to say that at the City of Rawlins, we just have tremendous staff here, and all worthy of recognition. These are just such great accomplishments. Our staff that's just who we are at the city.
I agree.
This last week, we were able to get through the contractor evaluations for our brownfield grant, and our next step in that process will be conducting interviews with the vendors, and then we will select a vendor for that. We're hoping that those interviews will occur within the next couple weeks on that. So I wanted to update you on the brownfield grant. You've all received tonight the financial report for September 30th. For the city, I will have a more in-depth presentation on that at the next council meeting. The Craig report is out from the state. It is issued each October. That has been issued, and I will update council on the findings of that at the next meeting. We received news from the Little League board in that they sent in a request to switch the tournament next year with Torrington. So the Little League regional tournament next year will be held in Torrington, and then it'll come back to Rawlins the following year. So we were rushed to get the VFW fields in place for the tournament next year. We will have one extra year to work on that. So we will be hosting it in 2026. The Rawlins Family Recreation Center is now open for its winter hours. So on Saturdays, it'll be open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then on Sundays from 3 to 5, there will be roller skating at that time. And then also Friday nights, there will be roller skating from 6:30 to 8:30. On November 13th, the Wyoming Water Development Commission will be meeting in Casper. And this is important to the city because we have a funding request for the transmission line, for their financial help. And that'll be held November 13th. The mayor, Public Works Director Cody Dill, our engineer Carl Smith, and myself will be attending that meeting to represent the city of Rawlins in that. We're hoping that we will have good news for the council at the next meeting on that. But that is November 13th. The last item is the City of Rawlins will be receiving from the Wyoming Community Gas $11,518. Staff is working on a recommendation to council for that, for your consideration, and we will have that recommendation for you at the next meeting. And then, like I said, council can hear the recommendation and then decide what the council would like to do with those funds. So that's my report.
All right, well, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is the city attorney report. Panita, do you have anything for us?
I do. I have a short report. Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. In regard to the online codification, I am working with MuniCode Civic Plus to get those going. The project, and so I want to give you guys a little bit of background because I inherited this project. It started last year. Actually, it started the year before, I believe, in 2022. And a contract was initially signed March 2023 to get the project going. Due to the process, their internal process, we were put on the queue and we were submitting documentation second half of 23, and we didn't get started until this year in September. Until April, I'm sorry, to start getting into their queue of reviewing everything. So now where we are in the process is a compliance. The MuniCode has drafted an initial compliance report of where we are with comparison with state statutes. Somebody has been assigned to be dedicated to looking at our ordinances, compliance with the state statutes, as well as internal compliance within the ordinance on kind of a really high level. And so I've been going through those and also checking those and going through and making a red line version so that I can start presenting these to you. The next steps on this is it's going to be just time intensive to kind of feed it to you a couple titles at a time over the next several months as we go through. Here's the changes, here's the recommendations. What we can also do within this is any ordinance changes that we'd like to make because our community has changed since the code was originally adopted in 1978. And there have been some other revisions throughout that time. We've also gone into a city manager form of government. And so there are some ordinances that are a bit obsolete that are going to need to be repealed. So there's kind of a whole process, and I've been going little by little so that I know ahead of time what's going to happen. Then once we finally get through the entire process, it takes about 10 months, then it'll finally go live with one ordinance to adopt everything and recodify everything, rather than piecemeal it out the way we normally do it for new ordinances, where there are 3 readings and then everything is published. So this will still be 3 readings, but it will be an ordinance that recodifies everything, and it's kind of a summary type of ordinance, because otherwise we would be looking at probably hundreds of pages of publication fees, probably $100,000 of publication fees. So their process really simplifies this. So it also, I think it's also important to update everybody in regard to the costs of this process. The initial setup is $14,000 to get everything set up. And we paid about half of that because we're about halfway through the initial setup process. And then from there, it's a $3,500 annual management subscription. And within that, I'm not quite sure exactly how many revisions we can do, but every so often, we also get a new set of books, like hard books, so that the judge can look at in my office and wherever else they need to be. So that's how that process works. So that's where what we're looking at is probably about 10 months out before this is actually live and online and everything's recodified. In the interim, we can do project code ordinances, updates as needed, but if we want to save a little bit of money, we can, if it's not imminent change that needs to happen, we can wait and do it all in one fell swoop.
It's a huge project.
Massive undertaking. Our current ordinances are, I think, well, it's however many pages are in this book. I think there are close to 800 pages. And so it's going line by line by line, reviewing everything that they've recommended, plus double checking. And so I'm also getting the opportunity to familiarize myself with our ordinances in a very comprehensive manner. Also, one final update. Last week, Cody, Jill, and I had the opportunity to go meet with BLM to discuss the parcel and some details about that. If we choose to do a direct sale, there is an appraisal process that is separate from whatever the final cost is. And that can cost anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 because of all of the testing and the this and the that they have to do. It's just part of their standard procedure. However, we can still align that process if we want to proceed with that, with the modification. It's not exclusive. You can do one, or we don't only have to do one or the other. You can do both in parallel. So Cody and I are going to be meeting next week to come up with a formalized plan according to their requirements in their format and in their form to present to them, which will be aligned with what we presented to you a few weeks ago.
A smaller version of what, instead of the whole project?
Exactly,
okay.
Right, and by that, Mayor Wycombe is referring to the acreage. So instead of the full 20 acres, would probably only utilize about 4.5 acres. And nothing further. Any questions from council?
All right, thank you. All right, next thing on our agenda is direction from City Council to City Manager. Does anybody have anything? Seeing none, I will move to the next item, which is, mouse is not working, is an ordinance approving the second reading. I would entertain a motion. Vice Mayor Sanger.
I move to approve second reading and waive the reading of the ordinance governing the body of the City of Rawlins, Carbon County, Wyoming, creating a flood damage prevention ordinance as amended and authorized by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, with changes highlighted in yellow with strikeouts in red.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve a second reading and waive the reading of the ordinance governing the body of the City of Rawlins, Carbon County, Wyoming, creating a flood damage prevention ordinance as amended and authorized by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, with changes highlighted in yellow and with red strikeouts, in yellow with strikeouts in red. Is there any discussion?
I'm sorry. And I just wanted to detail what the change was. There was a minor change on page 12 of the ordinance, which is Article 4, Section B. The only change was because we elected to not go with the higher standard. There was some language that was relating to that higher standard. FEMA brought to our attention after their review, since you're not doing the higher standard, strike this out. You don't need to include, it's, I think, 6 words. And so it was just modified to remove those.
Any other, Councilman Wells?
I just have a statement. I feel like we need to say this every time we vote for this, that we were our hands were kind of tied in this issue. And I know most of us council members reluctantly have to approve this.
I couldn't agree more. I feel it's very heavy-handed that we have to do this, but if we don't do it, the other side of it's very scary to me. To not get federal funding for certain things, and I know it's a burden, but I don't like it either, so thank you. Any other comments? All right, would you please open online voting?
Online voting is open. Online voting has closed. Motion passes with 6 yeas.
All right, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is approve the minutes of October 15th. Councilman Wells?
I move to approve the October 15, 2024 regular city council meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve the October 15th, 2024 regular city council meeting minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Councilmember Seeloff, you actually were not present at this one.
I wasn't?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
But
I didn't see
hold
it.
on 1 second, let me just double check the minutes.
Might not have been.
You can change, I can change you to abstain.
Yeah, just put it abstain there.
Okay.
In the
Just,
top right, you can click change vote as well.
It's gone.
Oh, is it gone?
Oh, I apologize, it was actually Chris, Councilmember Weisenberg, I apologize. I knew there was 2, so I apologize. So we'll leave you as, okay. So online voting has closed, the motion passes with 5 yeas and 1 abstain. The 1 abstain was Councilmember Gardner.
All right, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is a discussion for the holiday closure for the City of Rawlins employees. And I am the presenter, and the reason that this is on here is that in visiting with the staff, as well as going back and looking, the holiday closures for the city have been the same for 30 years until just super recently. What it is like on Christmas and New Year's, because the people that work at the City Hall here and most of the other places in the afternoon have almost no business, if any. They might not have any. And so it's been like for 30 years, the half a day before Christmas and half a day before New Year's is when the city closes for those 2 holidays. The other holiday that is on that list, that's more than 1 day, is Thanksgiving, and it always falls on a Thursday, and because it is always on a Thursday, then you can count on it being on a Thursday. So then the Friday following Thanksgiving has been closed also. So, you know, we talked about changing things and bouncing things around a little bit, a floating holiday and this and that and the other. But in talking to a lot of people, everybody is used to the way that it was done for 30 years. And I feel that we ought to probably go back to that, because everybody, number one, everybody's used to it. Number two, it works well. And I just don't see a reason to change it, so I'd like to know if you have any other ideas about all that. Bruce? I
Well,
mean,
basically, they get the other day off, the half a day at a time, half a day before both of them.
right.
So, I mean, if we give them another day, and they're gonna take the half a day, both of them anyway.
Well, the floating holiday really would be, you're right, the half a day before Thanksgiving, Christmas, and a half a day before New Year's. So 6 of one, half a dozen in the other. But it's worked for 30 years, and I'm not one that says let's give a trophy for doing it wrong the longest, but I don't think it's been done wrong. I think that it's respectful of the citizens that rely on our service. I think it's respectful of our employees, and everybody likes it that I talk to that has worked for the city for any length of time. So if anybody has any other ideas, I'd be all ears.
Does this sheet down below talk about the half a day off?
No, it does not. It does not.
I'm fine with this, but I'd like it, when we get to that in the HR manual, and we talk about holidays, those half a days need to be written down.
Defined.
Well, this is a discussion item, and the
Right.
reason for that is we're not voting on it. It's
I
just,
know.
it's just a matter of that, and I do believe that it is in the HR manual that way, but I can't remember all the rest of the conversation. It wasn't?
Honorable Mayor, I don't believe that the half-days were in the employee manual
Okay.
that I have seen.
Okay. Well, we need to incorporate it in the HR manual and also in some of the contracts, like with the haulers, for instance, because I know in their contract it states what days the city will be closed, so they can anticipate that and work around it. And there might be more out there, but those two things come to my mind. So.
And so I would also question our earlier vote on July 4th. Was that just, I realize it was done because the holiday was coming up that fast, so we didn't do the research on when days were given off and stuff. But if we're going to set it, then it's set, and it's not Christmas is on Wednesday, so.
Yeah, well,
Or Independence Day is on Wednesday, so we don't have that happening.
And Councilman Lumen, that's exactly why this discussion is being held right now, because it needs to be done ahead of time. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish here, so that it's done the same every year, so there isn't a tug-of-war or anything like that.
The problem with Independence Day is you don't know what day of the week it's gonna be.
Correct.
It goes floats.
You don't know what day Christmas is gonna be either.
But that's why you give a half a day before.
But they get a half a day before both them. So, yeah.
Well, think about it, and if you have anything else, it will be brought up as an action item. This is just a discussion item. But in looking back at the way it had been historically done, and then talking to some of the longtime employees, they really do like this method, so they know when they're gonna have that floating holiday or whatever, a half a day before Christmas, half a day before New Year's. Okay? Any more questions? Comments? All
So
right.
if the New Year's or the Christmas is on a Saturday or Sunday, the half a day isn't given? If it's on
Normally,
Sunday?
when a holiday is on a Sunday, I believe the Monday is the holiday. And so it would probably be like Monday and then,
This is right there. Holidays that occur on Saturday shall be observed on the preceding Friday.
Yeah, there you go.
They wouldn't get a half a day, right?
No, they get the holiday on Friday.
Well, if the holiday was on Friday, they would get a half a day on Thursday.
Right, that's what you're,
Yeah, and if the holiday was on Sunday, they would get Monday off and they could have half a day on Friday.
that's your discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they'd still have a half a day.
So we,
And that would have to be written down as well.
yeah,
So
so
it's clear.
we would have to specify that, right? Okay. Anything more? Okay, we're gonna move on to the next item, which is an executive session. And Councilman Wells?
I move to enter into executive session at 8:23 PM per Wyoming Statute 16-405 to consider receiving any information as classified as confidential by law, to consider the selection of site or the purchase of real estate when the publicity regarding the consideration would cause a likelihood of an increase in price.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to go into executive session at 8:23. Any discussion? Please open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
Oh, man.
No.
My garage, it takes 2.5 hours to get cold by that time it's time to
Usually it's
quit.
about 10:30.
And that stupid tractor, man.
I'm good.
Water must have run down the pipe,
Council wanted hit.
went between the muffler and the pipe, went right in the motor,
Oh, did it?
seized it again. Was water in 2 cylinders. I put Marvel Mystery on it.
Well, so you with your
Maybe I can break it.
So you have butterfly and snakes. Oh, Luna moth.
It's not.
Oh, it's the fuzzy end.
Could very well be. The engine overhaul kit, the sleeves and pistons and stuff, 1,000 bucks. Oh, I got it. It isn't even mine. It's the lady.
What?
Well, the rockets are the way according to your shirt. Yeah, it really is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah. And then
Thank you, sir.
thank you too for asking me to help connection. So yeah, so next year I'm gonna do a fundraiser Halloween party and vendor show with it too, since I have 2 days free for the therapy centers. I thought why not?
Oh, that's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do.
What if you add a costume for you?
I will. Oh, if I'm doing the costumes that.
With pets.
I know, I got one, get one. I was gonna put it on Facebook, but I didn't have time because it's a weird costume and I have a corgi, so it works out.
Yeah.
I was like, I one model at least. But yeah, there's like a lot of things I want to do is just try to get people to help me with it.
Right, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
tons of great ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
What you're doing already is amazing.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's been a lot of work for sure, but I just want him to just try to post some stuff forward, so that's, yes. Yeah, because I didn't want us, yeah, because I didn't want us to fund their feet on how I'm doing this.
This is all
Yeah.
the
Then for
points
them
for each
to,
one,
since
you know,
I know they're, and it's this week.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
so
yeah.
it's like,
Well, that's a cool.
yeah, that's why I want to do something different. I'm not
Nice.
like every time I do a Halloween party, each year I'm gonna change it.
The 24 to the
That's
second, the second.
one of my other complaints about some of the stuff that I was trying to help out and it didn't work out. So I was like, I'm just gonna do my own stuff.
Based on
and
what they-
stop complaining and just.
Yes, that's a great attitude.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I'm just gonna try and do it.
Nice,
So
who's the Rawlins one?
I'm hoping. I have all these ideas in my
Oh,
head
no,
and I'm
okay.
trying to like go out there and talk to people. Sometimes like, oh, I can't
Oh,
do
right.
it because
I see.
of some certain
Yeah.
reason or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I got a lot of stuff.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
Because I'm just stuck in
Exactly.
my house.
Nice.
My business is already
Yeah.
getting going, you know,
Nice.
that's stuff I need to figure out. I
So
need to
this is
figure
the
it out.
patient's name.
So like,
Oh,
you know,
nice.
to the
Firefighter?
new world, I guess.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I got this done. Yeah, what else is
Yeah,
out here?
yeah, so I'm like 14 years of this business, I'm cool with
Nice.
everything you do, so I'm definitely
Yeah.
learning so much stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome. Good for you.
Yes, thank you, I appreciate your help too, your knowledge too, because I listen to one of your emails, I read it, and I'm like, okay, that makes
Oh, I
sense.
see. Well, anytime you know, you can always call or text me and be like, hey, you want to do it? But yeah,
Yeah.
totally chat more often than.
That's
cool.
So,
So-
yeah, because that's how I was like, I'm definitely like learning lots of people and like knowing, you know, okay, I need to write you down for this, and so yeah, you're
Yeah.
definitely in my knowledge.
Well, I have a checklist. You're all my checklist.
Right.
Do you want another one of these frames? Like, I don't know if you want.
Oh, no,
Okay.
it's me, and because my other community members, like, they care but don't care.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, so that's why I kind of like, I invited her to come, but one's like, hey, and then she's like, no, I'm not coming, I was like, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's solid steel. It's
Yeah, yeah, this one, yeah, I did definitely want to learn, but I kind of want to make sure they're appreciated too, because I really know some of the problems.
Yeah. Well, it's a village, but
So,
like, the village needs a leader. Like,
in
hey,
this
let's
class,
do this.
it
Like,
really
all it takes is one person to activate
us,
Yeah.
10 more
it is
people
full-time
that
staff.
have been thinking about it or care about it,
Right.
but they don't.
Okay, that's very
They're like, well, I don't have the time to dedicate to be the leader of this, but I have the time to help.
That's
So,
very true.
yeah, I think that's a big
I definitely learned that, and I definitely need to learn it
There's
better.
other things
So
if you
I
look.
learned at the pick of it. I'm like, let's do this, and I realized like I need to be more direct on what I want. And I was like, oh, this.
like a work experience for
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
It's really
This is what I like. This is very flexible.
right, dude. I don't know if you were able to do it. You know somebody who can do it.
Definitely learned it's like, it's okay.
You can think about it, kind of
It's like
plan
everybody.
maybe tomorrow when there's not anything on the
Perfect,
desk.
because someone else is helping you.
the most fun like this would be context in there and glue it back down. As far as it would look nicer and fill in the gap.
It's
That's
impossible, so, yes. I know, so I was like, I wish I had, coffee, and I knew everything, at least, so, yeah, so that's all I've been doing too, so.
Well, thank you so much. And definitely, when you get
There's
to the
nobody
point next year in the city, I'm sure we'll want to do the drop boxes and we can put it up on.
Yes,
You know, I can do the
Yeah.
kind of marketing stuff that helped.
Yeah, that helped a lot. Anything I was like, I was grateful for anyone to help spread it out, just because we didn't know how it went. So that's why I'm like, I know I'm running this, I was like, this summer, I was like, I know it's not Halloween close yet, but
Yeah,
hey.
you did good. Not waiting. I'm always like, on things, especially following.
Level up and I don't
Right.
really get ready to tighten anything.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like, oh,
No,
here,
you're
we can
good.
look at it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I was like, I'll see.
When you get to the bottom
That's
stuff,
my
like
mind.
I said, we're gonna play
Already,
with
so
it.
I was
Some
like,
of them, but
buying everything for the shooting.
Yeah, yeah.
For all the party next year, so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, yes,
I don't
thank
know
you.
how
Oh,
to-
yes.
I know how to do it, so. Thank you so much,
Yes,
hon.
thank
Stuff.
you, I appreciate it, yes.
I guess let me go back to my, put my thank you card on my little board.
Yeah, no, that's why I was like, oh, like,
No, it's coloring. Anyways.
Hi.
Oh, yes, you are, I see pictures. Nice
How are you?
My kid's on it.
Thanks for everything.
Tana, right?
Yes, it's Hannah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. No, you're
I
good.
don't know why I just wrote.
Yeah, so I would say thank you for posting that box for us.
Of course.
I think there's one in there. I know I
Yes.
kind of slipped one in there the other day, but I didn't want to go and then waste their time. So I was like,
I give it to the people. And they don't mind their time being wasted. That's always.
well, I know.
How many costumes did you get?
Well, it's a good question because I was so overwhelmed because I'm the one who's like watching them all by myself.
Yeah.
And
So
now
like
you,
24
you
loads.
can see after you
Of
do
eagles,
it,
so like, we got a lot of
by
like,
paperwork.
How did you get them to fit?
so we did a big old like,
Just show up?
yeah, so a big old like your
add it all either. For sure, it has nothing to do with them ever meeting on other just a counter that it is.
I think it was, yeah, it was a really bad weekend too, because I didn't realize it was a holiday that Monday, and then it was fall break, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think, I was kind of like trying to figure out, like, you know, like, daylight.
Is it fall break's never been like that before. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
weird.
You know, 80s
Yeah.
are it's
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, so, yeah, so next year
This
we're
is
gonna
amazing.
do, so it's always really advertising
Yeah, too many kids and not enough costumes.
Yeah, yeah, so that's
That
what
would
was
be
like,
something.
so my, really, one of my advertisements was to the KB down. Like, there was still the costumes, right, or like, came up with it advertised, but it was like, you guys were the most smart for the costumes, so, being the costumes, so, make sure that they're gonna.
Oh, but 80 is good. I mean, I've done lots of events. To get 80 kids through the door, especially on a 5-day weekend.
Yeah, I was, yeah, cause I guess I was in my head, like, oh, look at all these costumes, like, I have that big old hurdle, like, big mistress.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we're gonna have enough more people.
Yeah. But every time you advertise the drop-off spots, you're also telling people there's a, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all,
Yeah.
You need help on the back end next year, let us know.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, yeah, that would be great, going and like a Halloween party and the vendor show that we can do, because my mind gets mentally bored all day, so I have all these things I love to decorate and do that kind of stuff. This is kind of like feeding my, yeah, like it's kind of feeding my, that I don't get to do all the time at home or at my business, because it's not fun doing crafts with 1 to 2 or 3.
it's definitely not the same.
Yeah, I used to, yeah. Yeah, like it's even that, it's more of like, it's more of like the excitement teacher to get mad because I can't all help in that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just not fun anymore, so I was like trying to feed my,
Yeah.
I wanna do something and volunteer and all, yeah, so.
Well, you chose a great thing.
You did.
And Rawlins obviously loves Halloween.
Yeah,
So-
I know, and I love
You do?
Halloween too, so that's why I was like, we need more fun Halloween. We have like bar parties and I do, always got the old pin and stuff too, but, that's kind of one reason why I came up with this. I was on the board too with them, but things didn't work out and I was like, kind of like, get frustrated that we were helping it together, but we didn't like change things. So I kind of quit, but it was like too stressful. I was volunteering, having fun, and then on the board, it was still opposite. I was like, this is not what I joined. Like, I knew it was gonna get more serious because of the board, but it's like, yeah, so then that's why I'm doing my own thing, because I'm tired of myself complaining about something, so I was like, I'll just do it myself and do it how I want to do it, see how it goes.
80 kids had costumes to go
Well,
trick or
and
treat.
like costumes, like when you're in a budget, the price of costumes is like a big deal. Because like,
Yeah.
it's not like Christmas present, but it's like, it's just
Yeah.
Halloween's great, but
No,
like,
yeah,
do I have
know.
enough to put
Yeah.
towards my kids' costumes?
Yeah, and
Sometimes
that's
you
why,
don't.
yeah, that's why Carlos pushing the used costumes,
Mhm.
and that's why just if people want to donate money, it's like, no, that's not my goal, and if I did get donated money, it's gonna go to the Boys and Girls Club anyways, I think about like almost $100 some. Cause I've been pushing, like, I don't want the money, I just want the costumes,
Yeah.
I feel like, I love Halloween, yes, but I feel like money now, at least it goes something more worth than just costumes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and yeah, how many, like, you wear a costume a year and your kid doesn't want to do it again? I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of kids wear it
Plus they
once and
don't
they're done.
fit.
Yeah. Why
There's
would
a
you
lot of
just keep
costumes that
those-
are good year to year. And there's
Oh,
some
yeah.
that are trendy, but a lot of them are good.
Well, and if you treat them next year,
Yeah,
you
there's
still
a
love
lot of-
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, there's, yeah,
Like,
superhero stuff is always.
yeah.
I wonder if the families whose kids got costumes will turn them back into.
That's what I was hoping. I did try to fit that in there, saying, hey, we also go to the
Yeah.
back after Halloween too, so.
And then next year your kid can be something else. Like,
Yep.
yeah. My kid weirdly has been a blue Lego for like 5 years. Same costume, he loves it. One year he wanted to be a chicken, I made it too itchy, I made the costume
Oh.
too itchy. So we went back to blue Lego. I'm like, well, you'll probably be 18 and wearing like the U6 Lego costume, but
Hey, I think it happened. That's why I didn't mean legal boys or girls
Yeah.
costume, is because I'm like, I'm a tomboy, so I was like, I love all the boy stuff, and then everything else going on with that was like, well, to do sizes, so we did made it really easy and organized too, and make it easy for people, and then like, the elves donated so much stuff, which I was like so shocked. It was like all new costumes, and we knew that, but then there was like makeup, there was like
Cool
glow
stuff.
sticks, accessories, weapons, like big old balloon, airplane. Yeah, I was like,
the elks are amazing.
Yeah.
They do so much.
yeah. So and then also we did help costumes for the old pen too, and then a lot of the makeup went to the high school drama club.
Oh.
Because I learned they do actually makeup contests or I don't know, something like that. And I was like, yeah, it was really nice, and I know sometimes makeup don't last very
Yeah, it's
long
not
over
good.
time. So I was like, just go ahead, and I was like, yeah. So I was just trying to spread out
Good for
as
you.
more as I can. So yeah, so
Yay.
yeah, so going until I'm done or someone else wants to take over.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, you too. Yeah, that's all. I was like, whatever, I'm done.
Any vibes on Rawlins City?
Yeah.
Good. I have no idea what they were eating.
Is that them coming back? Sure was. That's not Jackie, right?
Me.
Present.
Ooh, present. What are you gonna present? Where's my other piece of paper? Right there.
Mayor has a person there. And nomination for
Okay, so you're gonna put it in?
the we talked about stuff in 20 years. So you might just make sure you have her formal whatever.
Yeah, I can just make a copy of it. I mean, does he just, did he give the details?
No, that's what we did.
Okay. Okay, so it's like if we kind of know we could, but all the copy. Since you randomly inserted yourself as proofreading my stuff, which is wonderful. Make sure that it's making. I think it's actually really much better than when I started. Thank you, Chief.
4:30 when I started working on it, it was not nice.
It's late in the day to be working on something heavy.
Ooh. So, this was way better than that. The cover.
Telling you, if you engage with them, it never ends.
I don't think in either of these situations I really have much choice.
Maybe not.
I mean, that's already a thing.
I can guarantee you in DC, some pencil pusher sitting in the EPA office has no idea what the hell Wyoming is.
Yes. There's definitely some logistical weird decisions being made about that. And we're, all of us, the whole entire country is being impacted by inconsistencies and stuff, so.
Yeah, but New Hampshire is a state, right? Yeah.
Wow. It's been a long time, right?
It used to be a concern. New Hampshire and Wyoming were my finalists. Yes, they are. Sons of bitches.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's the same.
Yes, it is. It doesn't matter.
Like, they keep pushing.
Doesn't matter where you put it.
Yeah, it's just different.
But this is.
Wow. I guess it's late there. I mean,
It's
that's
great,
late.
it's 2 hours difference.
I mean, that's late enough that they'd be.
Well, it depends. Some of those states have their act together and some of them don't.
But it's realistically, I mean, we won't know anything until like
Look at
today,
this.
right?
Maryland. 60 to 37%.
Yeah. Although they're probably gonna pick Logan as the one to send. But he's kind of like,
Well, and they're picking, look who they're picking.
Oh.
Who picked Cruz, Texas.
God, is Texas close enough to call?
Texas is probably
Yeah,
one
they're
of the
on the
states like Florida that has their act together.
Did they,
My sister sent me this.
Where is she? Pennsylvania?
My brother was my sister's name. She lives at the same town right next door. She said,
Maine?
no, it's not. Maine has two, you can go Maine, she goes purple. The northern part is Trump, and the southern part, because there were 2 counties coming up in the county, other, we drove with the one counties. They spent 20,000 for new stations, which usually it's a quad, and it has just a wall, it's round.
oh, like with like 4 sectors?
Yes. The town right next door to it. So, we spent 20,000 on new glass to invest in the other dumplings, in the silvers, and worse set up she has ever seen.
Really?
It was so big, it was a mess, you had to go in and out the same door.
And there's not enough like, I mean, here we go, but it's a huge, like the Jeffrey Center's big. Yeah, it's like,
But yes, they could have done.
Instead of Utah, I stood in line for an hour and a half.
wow.
Brother stood in line just for half an hour in Pennsylvania.
And I stood in line for 3 minutes.
I didn't stand in line at all.
I got harassed more by the election judges
Yes.
than.
Yes.
No,
That's the good thing about
Patty
small
Hayes
town,
just
right?
hassles me every time I go in there.
oh, you're in
Yeah,
line,
yeah.
I mean,
We had a good time, it was fun.
yeah, no, we were in, so, when we walk out,
It's the best one I've seen all day.
That is so adorable.
Yeah, I had it. That is awesome.
They went in like at 8 to 20. Yeah, so that would be.
Me, I'd rather drive.
Me too.
Just go to.
Well, either way, it's dark. It's probably like.
I'd rather go tonight too.
Yeah. If he didn't be there till like maybe 7, you know, leave at 5.
You can go take a nap. So. Well, yeah, I don't expect people to sleep. That's not how that works.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why I was, all those back east little states get me confused. Maybe that's what I was thinking earlier. Wow, so very, I mean, that's considering. Yeah, considering where it's, it is. The county hasn't posted anything yet, have they?
I just looked and I didn't see.
I know those two were looking sometimes. I feel like so old school because I don't have my phone.
Where is it?
It's in my office. You're all have your phones, like debating.
she's gonna get 54 from California.
Is it all, California's all?
Yeah. And another 20 from Washington and Oregon.
I was trying to try to explain electoral college to my children repeatedly. No, it's still.
Her numbers will jump up as soon as the West Coast starts.
Yeah. Well, especially some kids
It's gonna come
splits.
down,
Yeah.
it's gonna come down to a couple states.
Like it
And these are gonna be the states whose shit is the least together, like Pennsylvania.
Somebody, they said, they were extending a couple states.
Like their polls would see it earlier, because they had so many people online, or because
No,
of
they
having
had
issues with
technical
the
issues
machines?
earlier.
Machines. And I don't understand why, because you're supposed to test.
Well, and you'd think if you have a technical issue, you just keep the ballot and rerun it. You don't need to keep the polls open longer. You just, like, you close it.
the machine and get stuff back.
Yeah, like just, yeah, I mean,
If
I'm
they
not
do it
a
that way, but all these states do it differently.
Some of Pennsylvania doesn't have ballots anymore, they were just voting, yeah, and it doesn't work for low-income covenants. I know some of them are going back to ballots. It's kind of funny, because the machines here that I was seeing is, same type of things.
Lynn, do you remember when it used to be like a booth that you went in, and you'd swing the lever and the curtain would close behind you, and then it would just, that's how connected.
swing a left, wow.
No.
You pull a lever and the
Maine
curtain
is
closes
always-
behind you in this booth. And then everything you do is like flipping a switch.
Maine's
Wow.
never.
And then when you open the curtain by pulling it, it records whatever your switch is.
No, Maine-
Really?
Maine's
Yeah,
always
watch.
had paper ballots.
Yeah, I think
I
Rawlins
used
had
to-
paper ballots for,
It's a, and we,
yeah, not,
we still,
that
we've
fancy.
always used paper and
that's like the whole thing. So is that like in the 90s that they had this, or before that?
Jeez. No, yeah, before that.
Okay, so it's like early technology. I mean, pre-digital, I don't know, pre-digital technology.
No, Maine's had paper ones. I used to count. I used to hand count. We didn't even finish counting the other
Oh.
Which is how I school didn't
Yeah. Oh, cool. It looks like really interesting. The,
It's called the lever voting machine.
Bernie Sanders won Vermont, and they elected a Republican governor in
what?
Vermont.
In Vermont?
It's
That
gotta
is-
be a wicked liberal Republican.
has to be.
Although I've been reading stories about Burlington lately, and those are no nights because they have all kinds of homeless people, needles and poop everywhere, crimes rampant. They defunded their police, now they want more police.
They're like, oh wait, there was consequences to actions. What? Are you sure?
It's a shame because Vermont's a beautiful state.
Vermont is very beautiful, but they are very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
And their taxes were actually like $70
Common sense. Common sense.
They don't have
Yeah.
All right, this executive session is taking far longer than I hoped.
That's accurate.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's good. That is true. That is true right there.
I feel like one of them probably colored it in for you.
That's pretty good. The red and the blue states, it's hilarious. That's what we do so far.
Hey. It'll be a week before you know for sure, guarantee you.
Yeah, you'll have something going on.
That sums it up, don't it?
That's pretty cool.
All right. Councilman Wells?
I move to come out of executive session per Wyoming statute 164405 at 9:08 PM.
Do I hear a second? Second. There's been a motion made and seconded to come out of executive session per Wyoming statute 16-4-405 at, what'd you say, 9:08 PM.
Yes.
Any discussion? All right, online voting is on.
Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 6 yeas.
All right, thank you. Was there any objections to matters discussed in executive session? All right, thanks. Next thing on our agenda is to approve executive session minutes of October 15th. Councilman Wells?
I move to approve the executive session minutes of September 17th, 2024, regular city council meeting as presented.
Second.
There's two different, October 15th and September 17th.
Oh, it's supposed to be October.
Okay, I rephrase that to October 15th, please, Lynn.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the executive session minutes of October 15th, 2024, regular city council meeting as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we open online voting.
Online voting is open. Online voting is closed. The motion passes with 5 yeas and 1 abstain. The 1 abstain was Councilmember Gardner.
All right, Councilman Wells?
I move to authorize the city manager to enter into negotiations to purchase real properties.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to authorize the city manager to enter into negotiations to purchase real property. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, is there anything else that needs to come before this body? Seeing nothing, this meeting is adjourned. And Tom, drive carefully. Tell your wife good luck. The next meeting is November 19th, 2024. His wife's having surgery and she's got to be there at 5:30 in the morning in Cheyenne.
Okay.
Oh, no,
Oh, they adjourned.
Laramie.
Tomorrow morning?
Where are you going, Tom? Laramie or Cheyenne? Laramie.
Well, that ain't too bad, then.
Oh, jeez.
You gonna get?
They like
go down?
those.
I'm not very good
Ink
at
pen.
3:30 in the morning.
Can I borrow your ink pen, Steve?
Yeah.
Doesn't write real well, but.
Everybody
Everybody was a yay for that vote except for
It's
Garth,
green.
correct?
Correct. Yes.
It's green.
Yeah, I don't think you can use that.
You might check.
I don't.
Do you have a ink pen I can use?